Hey, what's going on, boss?
Hey Phil, how are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Happy to hear, man. Where am I catching you? You driving?
Yes, sir. Driving home from work.
All right, very cool.
Driving home from the
Work or training? Difference.
training.
Okay, cool. It's still at Alliance?
Mm, so, Alliance technically didn't make it through the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, huge bummer.
All right.
So I'm at a different gym. So basically, Alliance kind of broke up and by training partners.
Mm-hmm.
So I still train with my same training partners. Um, and a lot of guys still have their training partners. It's all good. It was just too big for everyone to continue
Right.
to train as we were.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that is a bummer. Wow. All right, didn't expect that. Sorry. Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, you know, every now and then you just need somebody to drag you through the mud for no good reason. That's all right.
Yeah. Right. For sure. I imagine, Eric's all right. He's hanging in there no matter what's going on, right?
Oh yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. But as for you, Phil, I mean, I've noticed you're letting the hair grow, man. How long are you gonna let this get? I'm not used to seeing you with the long hair.
Yeah, I'm just letting it go. I don't really know what I'm doing with it. I don't really know what's going on. But it's been yeah, I think it's been 2 years.
Wow.
Getting pretty long. Been getting really long.
Yeah, rocking it with style though, man. Looks good. So, yeah, always got to change it up every
Thank
now
you.
and then, right?
Yeah,
Oh
this is
man.
my last hurrah before I really start to lose my hair. So,
Yes. Got to make the best of it. But
hmm
yeah, man. So, congrats on the win the last time out against Yoel Romero. Good stuff there. Obviously, high profile fight, and plenty of time to look back on it all. Were you kind of surprised that he didn't try and wrestle you too much in that one?
you know, it's always difficult to gauge how much a person will try to wrestle you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, with any level of wrestling experience, it's hard to really say this person will or will not wrestle me. Um, I thought given the opportunity, he definitely would, but I don't know. Still difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's not. He'll only, in my experience, I've only seen him go for a takedown. Um, maybe only a couple of times.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of started to lean on his striking a little bit more just as he got into MMA, which makes sense. If you don't have to, I guess use what you're best at and use the other tools. Then I guess why use it? I mean, you're a wrestler too. Is that makes kind of the perspective you think?
absolutely. It's to me, it's always like this is the art of war.
Mm.
I will always use one I will always use one option to conceal another option.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of funny. What did you make of him saying he thought the fight was 5 rounds? Do you think that was excuses or just kind of Yoel being Yoel?
I don't know. I don't know. The more I think about it, I'm like, okay, like I can see how you could get that mixed up. Like, I mean, I get it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not like I don't get it. I get it, but all right, whatever. You know what I mean? There's literally not like a situation where each and every one of us has thought something as ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Whether it's like you left the milk out, or you left your keys in the car at the mall, or something crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, that was definitely a funny thing to see, and yeah, it makes sense, you know, coming from the 5 rounders, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is. Is what it is. So, but mentioning like how you know he hasn't wrestled too much in his MMA career, Phil. I feel like we've seen you, you know, as time has gone on, you know, really lean on your striking a bit more, and it's you know started to look very great as time's gone on, which makes sense, right? As you're going to continue to hone it. But is that kind of by design? You know, you sharpening your striking skills and wanting to show them off more, or was it just kind of how things happened as time went on?
I think two things. You know, early on, when I was less confident in my striking,
Mm-hmm.
you know, people wanted to see that full package. Like, well, you need to stand more. Stop wrestling so much. You know, if you're going to wrestle him, you have to put him away. Like, okay. If you're going to box, do you have to knock the guy out? Is that a rule? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, well, whatever. So I, you know, now that I have more of that skill set, that's, you know, that's the weapon I go to. But also, a lot of times I'll take a risky shot, and now I take a lot less risk because I'm closer, and I don't take just I don't take shots that aren't set up.
Mm-hmm.
And now I will 100% take anyone down as soon as the opportunity presents itself.
All right, not trying to force it as much.
Exactly. Forcing nothing, just setting it up and taking your time, allowing the fight to progress.
Right. Yeah, and I'm sure that's just kind of something that comes with the experience, right, over time as you get more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking good out there though, man, and obviously ended up getting the win in that one, and now getting ready for Julius Anglickas. Always a very fun name to say, but he's coming off a recent fight for the title himself. Didn't go his way, but against your old pal Vadim Nemkov, the champ. In this matchup, I mean, I imagine you got to be pretty confident going into it just in general, but I mean after seeing that fight and you know how Nemkov was able to handle him pretty well on the ground. Not that, you know, maybe to say you'll go out there and try and do that because you can strike with him too, but just kind of what are the thoughts on him as your opponent and how, you know, the matchup is pretty favorable, I would say.
Right. You know, what I like about this matchup is that a lot of times guys will second guess themselves and be a little bit gun shy, or they'll be more of a tactician and try to steal just enough of the round. But when you deal with like young, hungry guys, they are all in. Like, F this guy. I'm going to show this guy what's up. And he is still young enough in his career where he is in that camp. He's going to try to show me what's up. He's not going to let me squeak out around. He's not going to try to squeak out around. He's trying to throttle. In my experience, that attitude works out. It either works out 100% or 100% does not. So, and it's not. It's truly a maturity thing. You know, it's a time in the game. It's a time in the game kind of thing. So I don't. That's kind of the matchup that I'm preparing for.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of, you know, knowing the position that he's in coming off a title fight loss, I mean, you think that makes him more dangerous?
More dangerous because he's coming off a title fight loss?
Yeah, like maybe more motivation to go out there and, you know, like you said, it'll 100% work out with him if he goes out there and is willing to risk things, or, you know, just how do you think, does that change anything? The fact that he's looking to, you know, rebound off that?
Well, man, I'm a hell of a rebound fight.
Right.
You know, I don't know if that makes him more dangerous, you know, so to speak, but, you know, truth be told, it would remains to be seen, you know. That could make him more cautious, or that could make him more dangerous.
Yeah.
that's a question for him, really.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. And that's why we'll find out. So, yeah, very well said.
You're just going to have to tune in March 12th.
Yes.
Only on Showtime.
There you go. So, yeah, I mentioned Nemkov, who taking on Corey Anderson next, and somebody you haven't crossed paths with yet is Corey Anderson, but obviously to the two Nemkov fights, plenty of experience there. 7 total rounds? What are kind of your thoughts on that one? I think should be a pretty fun one, but what do you think about it?
Man, I'm going to be tuned in for that. You know, I might even make that one live. I'm that interested. I want to see it go down cage side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, San Jose not too far.
Yeah, San Jose not too far. That's a Southwest ticket. I'll be there for sure. I will be there. What are they fighting on tax day? April 15th?
Let me see here. I think you're right. Yep, nailed it. Yep. Tax day.
I don't know if that's a good omen or what.
Right. That's funny. But yeah, should be a good one, man. Do you have an early lean? I mean, obviously more familiar with Nemkov in terms of facing him, but I'm sure you've watched Corey for a while. You know, he's been around.
Oh yeah. This is one of those styles make matchups sort of fights. So here's what Corey has been doing thus far. He's been running people over.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that not to like knock any of his performances. He has just been a freight train of aggression and a flurry of punches. So and everybody's face he's just been running through them. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. And I just don't see that fight going that way. I just don't see that. If it does, hey, you know, it's one of those things. For example, Ryan Bader goes into heavyweight Grand Prix. So I fought him. We did a 5-round split decision loss.
Mm-hmm.
He won the title for me. He goes into the heavyweight Grand Prix and drops like the first dudes, and like he had like a minute total in all the Grand Prix or something crazy.
Yeah.
It was a little bit longer than that. A little bit longer, but long story short, he's dropping everybody. And I'm like, you know, it's not that I don't, he is exactly that dangerous. I just didn't feel that, you know, it's hard to say how things will play out. So I don't think that Corey's going to be able to run over Nemkov in that way. So I think it's going to be a really interesting matchup. I think it's going to go down. I don't know how long. I don't know who's going to win. My money's on, but I'm leaning towards Nemkov.
Yeah, I know. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. I think that's fair. I mean, that would be very stunning. What Corey's been doing has been pretty stunning, but if he does it to Nemkov, wouldn't you might be a little Nostradamus if you can predict that one. So, man, it's crazy when you look at kind of your career at this point, and you know, you fought so many people, you know, dating back to the UFC and obviously at Bellator, where most of your career has been in both of those places, but so many tough opponents, former future champs, Nemkov being one of them. Sure, a very tough guy to fight, but putting you on the spot, man, like, is there someone who stands out as your toughest opponent?
Oh, geez.
Had to do it.
Each fight is difficult for its own reasons. You know, even in some wins, I feel like, man, that was more difficult than some losses. It's just there's not like fighting is not very linear like that. You know.
Yeah.
It's not quite like racing where you could say, you know, you won this race and you won that race. Who pushed you the most? You know, it's different because each fighter brings out something different out of you. Sheesh. Yeah, I don't. It's hard to really say. It's hard to really say. Yeah. But I'll tell you what what I appreciate the most is my rematches against both Nemkov and against Bader. Because there are times where I've just had to really dig deep in terms of training and competition, and to me it's all right. I came up short, but you know, to me it's the working hard that is you know, that matters. Working hard and pushing yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Both of them pushed me to be a much tougher fighter.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't like you got, you know, totally destroyed in either of those, right? It was like they were competitive, you know, arguments for you to have won. And so it's like you did, yeah, you put it all out there, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know that's always a tough question to ask people, especially when you fought so many guys like you have. But, I mean, one of those guys, man, I want to get your thoughts on Glover becoming the UFC champ now. Obviously, you got the win over him, but what were you surprised by that to see him getting the belt at 42?
Oh man, good on him. Good on him. You know, I'm proud of the dude. You know, a lot of guys would have called it, and he didn't, and he was right. He stuck with it, and you know, at 42 became, you know, champion. So. You know, I'm just proud of the guy. I'm honestly just really proud of him, both as a competitor and as you know, a fan of Bellator Teixeira.
Right. I mean, is that inspiring a little bit for you as a fighter? And I don't know, maybe about if the past opponent part matters, but you know, seeing a guy who has stuck with it like that and, you know, into his 40s can still be one of the best in the world.
Don't take this the wrong way. No.
Okay.
It makes me feel good that he does it. That he can do it. When I see Yoel Romero fighting, you know,
around the same age.
Izzy, right? Fighting Izzy and fighting a great fight. I guess one of the best talents in the world at 42, 43. Is that great? Yes, that's great. Is it inspiring? Inspiring, like, yeah, maybe I can still fight at 42. No, it's not that. It inspires me to appreciate them, but not so much you could do that too. No. It's yeah, I know. I 100% appreciate those guys, because there's no doubt they face injuries, they face training issues, just plain old being old, and they're kicking butt. So no, they it's all inspiring, but I don't know if it inspires me to be like, yeah, maybe
let's fight 10 more years. Yeah. Around there. Yeah, I hear you. So, man, I mean, speaking of Glover and Yoel, though, I mean, obviously 2 great wins. So another tough question for you, Phil, but when it comes to or maybe not, your proudest victory of your career, do you have one that stands out there?
To be honest, I think I just love my very first fight in UFC. That was Brian Stann, and for me it was very do or die. It was, do I belong in the big show? And truthfully, I got there very quickly.
Yeah. And
that one is probably my proudest moment.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a very good one. And Brian Stann, a stand-up guy as well. Miss him being around the sport, but good for him doing his own thing. So, yeah, good moment there. But I mean, man, Phil, talking about these old guys now, you're not old yet or anything like that, but obviously been around a while. So I'm curious, are you thinking about kind of the end of the tunnel at all? Like how much longer you're planning to fight for? Or is it just kind of still going with the flow?
Going with the flow, and you know, I'll let my body tell me when we're done.
Yeah.
But you know, I am definitely at the place where I'm like, oh, you know, very, very cautious, and I, you know, make sure I'm doing all the right things to take care of my body and preserve my health.
Yeah. Yeah, very important stuff always. Have you considered, maybe going to heavyweight at some point, or is that something you're like, I don't want to mess with those guys?
Not really. I have not really. I mean, well, I shouldn't say never. I've thought of it, and for the right matchup, I'll mess around.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much I won't do, but it's got to be, for the right reason. Got to be for the right opponent.
Yeah. I mean, if they came calling with the Fatal retirement fight, not going to say no.
Right. Fato's, I mean, he's just one of those dudes. I'm like, God. And he, again, legend and freaking, he's just, even if you just kick it with him backstage, he's a cool cat.
Right.
You get to fight him. How do you say no?
Exactly. One of those opportunities you just can't pass up. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. Obviously, got to worry about this fight coming up first. But all right, Phil, don't want to keep you too much longer, man. But I am curious, like very lengthy career in combat, going back to the wrestling days and all that. If you never got into MMA or wrestling, just kind of that lifestyle, do you have any idea what you think you would have ended up doing?
Man, so hard to say. It is very hard to say. It's each day you spend on one path is like it's hard. I don't even know if I even remember my interests.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like my interests, what my true interests were outside of wrestling or fighting.
Yeah.
Before those things, I couldn't even tell you what path I might have taken. Yeah. So, yeah, life's interesting like that.
Certainly. I mean, did you ever consider like the pro wrestling route? Are you into that much? Because obviously we've seen a lot of talented, collegiate wrestlers and what have you do that crossover.
So immediately following wrestling, collegiate wrestling, I thought, absolutely not, because those guys, they get beat up.
Yeah.
And, to me, it made more sense to get beat up in a real competition than to get beat up in a fake competition. Mm-hmm. That only makes sense. That only makes sense.
Yeah, when you put it that way.
We're talking about beat up here. Well, I like my chances of escaping getting beat up versus getting beat up for show.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Now I might be interested.
Right. I got it all out of the way, and that's always an option. That one's always right there. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. But man, Phil, all right, last thing I'll leave you with, man. Appreciate the time so much. Been following your career since the beginning, and been great to watch. Been one of my favorite fighters, man. And I somehow have never heard the story of how you got the Mr. Wonderful nickname. So I got to ask you, like, how exactly did this come to be?
Oh, very very simple story. It all starts, with a man's love for his cat. Okay. I had a cat. Actually, so I'm allergic to cats, but I had a cat foisted on me from my roommate, and his name was Mr. Wonderful, and so my roommate, he moved out, and I got stuck with the cat. Nobody else at this new place wanted the cat, so I got stuck with the cat. I'm like, all right, dude, we're boys. And so he was my cat, and my new roommate. I was away with my wrestling team, traveling, and I'm not sure if they had like a party or just had some people over or whatever.
Right.
But the cat got outside and never came back. But I don't know, man. It was a smart cat. He would like take himself for walks and come back. I don't know. I think he was stolen. He was an awesome cat. Anyway, long story short, when it came around to time that, I started fighting, it was just obvious I wasn't an axe murderer or a, rampage,
right,
or a Iceman,
American Psycho.
Just wasn't anything intimidating like that. And my friends thought Mr. Wonderful was very, very fitting. Keep the wonderful name alive.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Done him proud, the little guy. So that's kind of a sad story, actually.
Right?
Yeah. Jeez.
That's one of those movies where you walk out and you're like, am I happy or sad?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, with how it got carried on, I think it was a happy ending, but we have to go through some sad times to get there. So.
Yeah, exactly.
R.I.P. to Mr. Wonderful. So, all right.
It's like watching Shawshank Redemption.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, man, that was great. Yeah, I didn't expect that, but never heard that story. So good stuff. But okay, Phil, I will leave you, man. Fantastic getting to catch up as always. Very excited for the fight. Excited for all your fights. Wishing you all the best. Hope it's smooth sailing here with the next coming days and then the fight week coming up. And just wishing you the best, man. Appreciate it so much, and I'm sure we'll catch up again in the future. And until then, just take care, man.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.